On the 21st of March 2008, Whittle Shortline announced their new line of wooden trains. This line of trains will be called the Mega Train Line. Like the tab says, these are big trains that fit on the same wooden track system like Thomas Wooden Railway and Brio. The line consisted originally with an SD40 like diesel number 2008, which is the year the line was first produced, and it's in the livery of Whittle Shortline. The diesel also came with a mega boxcar, a mega hopper, a mega tanker, and a mega caboose. The line did pretty well, and up to 2009, the Whittle Shortline Railroad produced the magnum opus of not just the Mega Train Line, but I think it's also the magnum opus of the entire steam engine range and the entirety of the company. This engine, this beast, this beauty is known as the Mega Steam Engine and Tender.
Freight train, going so fast. Freight train, going so fast. I don't know.
Hello everyone. So you probably remember this little dinky thing I made a while back in the video I made of this. Well, of course, this, if you remember that video, this is once my replica of the Whittle Shortline Mega Steam Engine. And of course it's all static and, well, it's age, like milk. You could see, it doesn't really show on camera, but in real life, the blue Sharpie is kind of yellowed. And not only that, yeah, this was a product of its time, because this is back then before I had enough information about the Mega Steam Engine. But I'm happy to announce, and if you haven't forgot the clips that was just shown a second ago, I have made a brand new replica of the Whittle Shortline Mega Steam Engine. And we're going to talk about not just this engine, but also how I got the references for this engine, and a bit more things about not only the Mega Steam Engine, but also the Whittle Shortline Mega Train Line. And the reason why I'm saying mega in such weird ways is because my friend's been telling me that it sounds like I'm saying the N-word, which, nuh-uh. But, either way, let's finally talk about my replica of Whittle Shortline's magnum opus. Oh, and I just realized I already told you what there was for the Mega Train Line. Yeah, the steam engine was the last thing to be released for that toy line. But man, what a engine to end off the line with, even though it was pretty short-lived. The Mega Steam Engine has a lot more to offer than the average Whittle Shortline engine. It has a cow catcher, it has a running board, and it has well-defined pistons. Not only that, the engine also, again, the tender, is in the shape of a traditional American train tender for a medium-sized or big engine. Unfortunately, there aren't official pictures that survived the deletion of the Mega Train tab, but there are a few pictures of the Mega Steam Engine on the Whittle Shortline play table connected to its tender, along with the rest of the Mega Train Line rolling stock. Now, funny enough, once I found these two pictures, that was the same time I made the first Mega Steam Engine replica. I don't know what was going through my head, since this is too small. The Mega Steam Engine is humongous. It's bigger than Thomas the Tank Engine. Okay, and after doing another measurement test, yeah, my original replica only reached to about 5.5 inches long. Even though I have the saved archive link of the Whittle Shortline website where this engine would have been sold, and on the website it says that the engine is 7 inches long. Here's the newer replica. It reaches at 1. Well, technically it should be here since the magnet is kinda iffy. But if we come back here, it reaches at 7 inches, which makes this replica double superior than the other one, and it fell. I used Trackmaster Track at the time for a track reference, but still, it should be big and humongous, near the size of an actual HO scale locomotive. But I made this, which was a start, but it wasn't perfect, and I knew eventually I would have to remake it. But remaking this thing wouldn't be very soon. In fact, it would be 3 years after I made this model that I will remake it. So now we segue to the part of the video where I talk about Toonie, my great friend. They're pretty nice. They make pretty cool art. Me and Toonie at the time, we were just talking about Whittle Shortline, and we were just having average conversation here and there until one night, while I was coming back to my hotel room with my family from a fun day somewhere Corpus Christi, I don't remember. Toonie sent me this, a eBay listing of the rare Whittle Shortline Mega Steam Engine, the king or queen, depending on your preference, of the Whittle Shortline Railroad. My eyes were widened. I was just astonished. And I told them to send me as many pictures of this piece of gold as soon as they can. Just send me immediately. This is an crazy revelation. It was just... Still thinking about it all these years later. Well, I made my replica like last year, 2023, back like near the end of the summer. Yet, and it's pretty recent. Yet, still to this day, it's crazy since most Whittle Shortline items made in the early 2000s, besides the little engine that could, are rare, if not impossible to find. When it comes to wooden train toys, Whittle Shortline is the highest when it comes to rarity. Yet here is Toonie with not just the Whittle Shortline Mega Steam Engine in their shopping cart and already ordered, but they also have the IHOP train and a Union Pacific passenger train. Either way, back to the Mega Steam Engine. He sent me a couple of eBay pictures of the listing, and I spread it to my server, the CC of course. And I knew from there, I must make a new replica. Here's the actual toy in the hands of a friend of mine who also has other wooden toy train items. This is gonna be great. I can finally make a 1-to-1 replica of the Mega Steam Engine. Once I get home, of course. Oh look, I'm home now. Right. Let's get to business. Once Toonie received the Mega Steam Engine, I asked them to, compare them with other wooden railway items they have that are similar to mine. Not only that, pennies. Why not measurements? It's because, I would like to compare something that is like 1-to-1. For example, a coin or Thomas. If I go with measurements, they probably have a hard time, or I will have a hard time, since sometimes when it comes to measurements, I just how do you say, round up to the nearest number. And besides, if you remember the last replica, which I used measurements from the Whittle Shortline website itself, which I'm willing to bet that they were accurate. 7 inches shouldn't be this small. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that I am basically stupid when it comes to measurements when I'm not thinking correctly. After I got my reference pictures, I immediately set to work. I first started with the cabin boiler, and then I worked my way up and down the engine. Yes, I originally had a brain fart and thought the year was 2020, but I immediately changed that to 23. The build went swimmingly. I even changed up the style of how I made the domes. Originally, with the original replica, I made the domes as basic cylinders with tops on them. Now, with a bit of putty, I made these domes actual domes that the actual original toy had. And for spacing, I asked Toonie if they can compare the funnel and domes with a AA battery. And then I realized, wait a minute, hold on. I made one of the tender sides, but just to make sure, I asked Toonie if they can provide me a picture of the Mega Steam Engine right beside Thomas. Not only does this remind me that the Mega Steam Engine is freaking huge, but this also made me realize I made the boiler a bit too long. So, after a bit of thinking, I cut down the boiler. I hesitated at first, since there were times where I would cut down a model just to improve it and make it better, but it doesn't really end up well, or I just lose motivation halfway through and the model just becomes trash. But luckily, I pulled through, I stitched the engine back together, and we're back to business. We have a Mega Steam Engine that still has a great chance at matching up with the original toy. Not only that, I almost completed the tender. And by the way, the reason why I numbered this engine 2023 is because, I was following Whittle Shortline tradition. For special trains dedicated to the Whittle line, there will be number after their year, the year of production. Not only that, another thing that makes my replica a bit special and more something that I created, I named my own Mega Steam Engine. And I named it the Whittle Giant, a tribute to Whittle Shortline's Mega Trains. And I even put a little Whittle Shortline logo on the pistons as a little builder's plate. And this is where I stopped, because I needed wheels and couplings. Yes, what's gonna defy my replica and make it more superior than the old model is that it's going to have actual couplings and actual Whittle Shortline wheels, or wheels that are close enough to Whittle Shortline. And after those arrived, I went back to work. I did have to rip and chop off a couple of things on the chassis, mainly the front truck, But other than that, I got the wheels on the engine, and the wheels went swimmingly on the tender since they're just bogies. Trucks. Rotational pivot points of wheels that are already pre-assembled. Not only that, I have some good wheels for future Whittle Shortline replicas or custom or just repairs. If I were to find a Whittle Shortline box caboose or boxcar at a thrift store, antique store, or flea market and it's broken, I can fix it up and maybe paint it up in CC, I don't know. Depends on the condition. Either way, after I got the wheels on, I completed a tender and I gave the model a final clear coat. A nice gloss. Now again, like I mentioned in the video, I did the gloss before putting on the wheels, since the original toy, at first, not looking back at it, it has a slight gloss to it, but it's still a matte finish, though it's a semi-gloss, but either way. And yes, I bought a case for this thing. This is basic case for the 1/64 scale 18-wheeler. Oh look, it's my old replica. Yeah, even though I made this new model, I don't want to throw this away. In fact, I might just put him with the new model. I just had him sitting around on my desk, but I might as well leave him with his replacement. But yeah, I would just like to talk about a few more things about the original Mega steam engine. Let me just check Discord. So, thanks to Toonie, I discovered, and I think most of y'all too, since no one was able to dig up more information about the Mega steam engine. It was for sale, but the kids who probably owned the toy probably never knew about what it was, if that makes sense. And besides, they're probably long gone since... Okay, so a couple of discoveries with Toonie's purchase of his Mega steam engine. For one, we now realize that the Mega steam engine was never sold with its stickers, because on the website they show the engine with the Whittle line on the side of the boiler and a little lamp on the nose. But in actuality, the engine was never sold like that. These two are the only pictures of the engine with those stickers. The rest that are out there from other online retailers, the Whittle Shortline play table, and Toonie's Mega steam engine, they all don't have those stickers. Meaning, the one seen on the website with stickers is probably the prototype. And they probably dropped the idea of stickers since they can wear off easily. Another thing that most of us might have discovered is that the rear piece, this part right here, actually it's best if I illustrate it with my older model. Back then I thought this section right here where it will hold the magnet, I thought it was just a bigger, thicker piece of wood that was supposed to resemble a firebox. And one of the reasons why the Mega steam engine had a short run is because, well, it couldn't go through tight curves due to that section of model. But in actuality, that is actually a swinging, pivoting magnet. And when I found that out, I immediately praised Whittle Shortline cleverness. Not only that, when it comes to decals, we found out that the engine's number is 2010. And the engine has cab interior. Well, it's pretty basic, though it has something. Now, if I were to get the actual Mega Steam Engine, would I replace this? Hell nah. This isn't supposed to be a supplementary Mega Steam Engine. This is supposed to be a new member of the Mega Train line, even though it's just the Mega Steam Engine with a new number and a name. And besides, I don't think I'll ever get the Mega Steam Engine. Seeing how much Toonie paid for his? Yeah, no. I'm a cheapskate. I'm not gonna pay that much. Even though I paid half for my Lego Orient Express that I got for Christmas. I paid half. Plus, that's a Christmas gift. But either way, besides discoveries, this was a blast to build since, well, it was just a simple model with simple details. It isn't something that I would like to go detail heavy like Chris Tannick here or Lily Lightship here. Look at her, she slays so hard. It's just a traditional, well, almost traditional. This thing is like twice the size of Thomas. It's just a traditional wooden toy train. Not only that, this engine kind of made me use outsourced parts like these Whittle Shortline replacement wheels and, well, yeah, these trucks over here. Now, of course, I did mention some of these wheels aren't actual Whittle Shortline wheels. Well, all of these wheels aren't really Whittle Shortline. These were made by a company called Choo Choo Barn. This doesn't have their sticker, but here it is. No, it's called American Train. Of course, these aren't actual Whittle Shortline wheels, as you could see how they dangle. Yeah, these were some wheels I found on Etsy that are the perfect size of the original Whittle Mega Steam Engine wheels. Of course, these are made in the same style as normal Brio. Just the normal Whittle wooden train wheels with that have a metal axle going through both wheels. But if you paint the little metal axle black, they just blend in perfectly. Now, from all the friendship bonds, nostalgia, and research I done for this engine, this train still isn't perfect, to be honest. Like, this train is the biggest on my little wooden railway layout that is within my train table. Of course, it has the accurate flaws that the real Mega Steam Engine has, like going through certain most wooden train structures. It couldn't go over most bridges. Hello, Percy. I hope you're not traumatized by the big behemoth American train. But there are some other flaws that I can or cannot fix up on this engine. Like, for one, the chassis. The way I made the chassis block, it can't fit these wheels, but on one side they don't really roll nicely, and on some occasions it just looked like they were just floating on top of the track and are only guiding both the front truck and the tender along the track. And actually, no, those are not the wheels that are just gliding the train along the track. It's these wheels up front, the pilot truck. I wasn't able to, well, this wheel can turn a bit freely because, yeah, you could see I have to do a lot of tearing to kind of fit this wheel on. I did a lot of cardstock layering to get this piece strong and hard. But, yeah, that just made it hard to just drill a hole through the paper since you got all these layers and glue to just push the axle through. But they do turn a little. Actually, this wheel is stuck. It's just, oh, no, but still they just glide along the track instead of actually moving. But hey, they're doing something. Oh, that's tight. Now sometimes, as you can see here, the cow catcher would just stoop low and just catch on the gaps where the track will connect. Now if you got a flat surface where the track is just seamlessly together, and the engine might run along as nicely as possible. But if you got like a minor gap, actually let me shove one of my gift cards down here. That might be a bit too extreme, but if you got a little minor gap where I could just shove that out like that, you could just shove the engine through and it might derail, but you could just re-rail it and just push it through where it would derail somewhere else. So this model isn't 100% perfect. It is 99.5% perfect. Its looks are just... Of course, I would like to fill in this section of the tender, because of course on the actual tender, there is wood down here. But I just left that blank because I wanted to finish the model right then and there, and it doesn't really bother me that much, but it's noticeable. But either way, I am still proud of this model. It's so close to the Mega Steam Engine. It has its own identity, the Whittle Giant. And I like to think of the Whittle Giant as the son of the mighty Mega Steam Engine. Now that, again, this is a tribute for a line of trains that, due to their size, pretty much led to their downfall and soon discontinuing.
Freight train, going so fast. Freight train, going so fast. I don't know what train is on. Won't you tell me where?